Hi, I'm Eric Lotzer. Thanks for tuning in. You may not know this, but the Natchez Blues scene enjoys international notoriety, as evidenced by this cover story in Living Blues magazine, which hit the newsstands in December 2010. In its 26-page feature article, Living Blues details the rich and prolific Natchez Blues sound, folksy lyrics backed up by distinctive rhythms, best represented by the Ealey brothers, YZ, Theotis, Bubba, and Melvin. The Ealey brothers' legacy of fine music spans over a half a century here in Natchez.
I was born in Doloroso, Mississippi, about halfway between Natchez and Woodville. Oh, I started playing music when I was about 17 years old. I was in a log camp, and guys played the guitar over there. They ain't busting balls like lacking. So he bought him a new guitar. So I bought his old one, and I started banging on it. That was when I was about 17 years old. I didn't work in longer very long because I left home. About a couple of years and I left home to New Orleans. I was born in 1937, down Highway 61 south of Natchez, about 12 miles, down at Sibley, Mississippi. Well, I picked my music up, I think it was something like about 1948. It was a tradition thing that the older fellas would walk around the community with their acoustic guitars and entertain from house to house. And I was always inspired to want to do the same thing. My brother David, which we call him Bubba, he was the very first of the Ealey brothers that brought music into our family. And that's where it went from there. We sort of, Melvin and I, we kind of learned together. Then I more or less taught Theotis. Melvin and I taught Theotis, you might say. My brother Melvin, in my opinion, he was the most talented brother of all five of us. Well, Natchez have been a town where people have always enjoyed good music, and you always have had people strive to play good music here in Natchez. And that's why I think it's a kind of like Natchez is an inspiration to people to play music. It's something about Natchez, you know. And I kind of think that most people expect good music in Natchez. I've gathered that, you know. Well, I once was a gambler, but I bet my money wrong. Well, I once was a gambler, but I bet my money wrong. I don't have no money, all I got is gone.
I was born down in near Sibley, Mississippi, on a plantation called Duncan Plantation. It's around the banks of Highway 61. Just after you leave out of Sibley, you leave Natchez, you go down Highway 61, and you come to the Sibley post office, and you pass through Sibley, and you're going down a little further on the right, just before you get to Wilkinson County. It's called the Homochitto River Bridge. Just before the Homochitto River Bridge, I was born in a house there on a place called Duncan Plantation. 1947, on Wednesday morning, 20 minutes after 4. The very first song I sang, played was in a juke joint. We lived on Highway 61 on the left side if you're going down Highway 61. And across the street from our house was a place where it was called Miss Willie Mays. There were people would meet. My brother YZ and my brother Melvin would play the blues in there. And as a matter of fact, little Jimmy Reed used to play down there. It was called Miss Willie Mays. It's on the corner of, right on the banks of Highway 61. And my brother YZ taught me my very first licks on the guitar, and he taught me this song. He taught me to sing it and play it. It was called "Come By Yeah, Baby, Come By Yeah" by B.B. King. I think B.B. King had took an old spiritual and made a song out of it. "Come by yeah, Lord, come by yeah." B.B. took that song and he made "Come By Yeah, Baby, Come By Yeah." And YZ, I don't know if YZ even remember this, but my very first appearance was when I was about 7 years old. And he talked Mama in and let me go over one night with them over to Miss Willie Mays. And I played my guitar and sang "Baby, Come By Yeah, Baby, Come By Yeah" at 7 years old with my brother YZ and my brother Melvin over at Miss Willie Mays right on the banks of Highway 61. No, it didn't happen regularly after that because Mama was very strict. I guess she felt that she had already lost her first two sons to the blues. She's a sanctified woman, and called Melvin and YZ, so she was very careful with me. Yes, I did. I grew up playing music. That's all I ever done in my life was play music. I picked a little cotton, but at the time, by the time that I got to the point where I could pick cotton, Papa had already died, and we didn't do a whole lot of. YZ would take care of the field and stuff. YZ was pretty much the head of the household after Papa died. Cause my brother Bubba, which is another blues man in the family, one that started me and YZ out. His name is David. Bubba had left and went to New Orleans. He was down there playing around on the streets of New Orleans with people like, I think they say Lightning Slim, all those people, those old guitar players. I want to tell you, girl, I don't know what I'd do if I had to spend one day on this earth without you. Hey, but you know it's a real good thing. Girl, don't you know it's such a real good thing. Well, it's such a real good thing, baby. Every time I hear you call out my name, make me want to play for you, baby.
The Ealey brothers' contribution to the Natchez music industry is being marked by the City of Natchez and the Mississippi Blues Commission, with the Mississippi Blues Trail marker in their honor being planted during the 2011 Natchez Bluff Blues Festival coming at the end of April, as they continue to set the standard for fine music here in Natchez.
I learned to play by ear. Yeah. I never read, I can't read no music till this day. I just hear it and play it. I call it back home blues. Blues. That's all I can, that's all I like, and all I can play is blues. But I'm retired now. I've been retired now ever since 62. Well, I'm one of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I go from door to door when I feel like in the morning to teach the Bible. Then most of that I come back home and read and watch baseball during the baseball season. That's my life. And play my guitar at night. Music, yes, music is very much a part of my life. I love it.
I formed the band YZ and the Merrymakers around 1959, I believe. Yeah. And it remained that until 1963. That's when my brother Melvin left and went to California. We played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights at Haley's Big House. I think it was about 3 years we played over there. Except the Sunday nights we need to have the big time bands like B.B. King and Little Milton and Big Joe Tunnan and Larry Buttson and all those type of guys. And we usually would be the opening act for those guys on a Sunday night. But we actually was a house band for about 3 years, I believe, at Haley's Big House. Then by the same time, we'd play all up in Monroe for different functions, Lake Charles, Lake Providence, and all up on Lake St. John. I just feel like I've been around these years and I've stuck with playing the blues, where so many of the musicians behind me, they are really here in Natchez don't seem to really respect the blues. And which I know the blues is our heritage, and I know they should respect it. And the reason I've always stuck with the blues is because I like the blues, but mainly because it's our heritage, because it's other music that I like just as well as I do blues, or maybe a little better, like country music. I love country music. But I remain to try to keep blues alive because I feel like it's my heritage. Music really means a lot to me because I feel like I might be more of a music fan rather than an artist, because see, I like just about all kinds of music. The only kind of music that I really don't catch my taste, you could say, is opera. But other than that, I hardly hear music that I really don't like. So I guess I'm a fan more or less than an artist. A yes and no on my mother being proud, because she always liked it for us to be good at whatever we do. You know, if she didn't approve of it, as long as we was good at what we done, she was proud of that. So I could say she was somewhat proud. Yeah, because we did it pretty well. We was pretty well liked. So I think she was proud of that part of it. Raining in my heart since we've been apart. I know I was wrong. Baby, please come on. You got me crying, about to lose my mind. Don't make me cry in vain. Try our love once again.
YZ Good Rockin' Ealey and the Merrymakers. That was the official name of it. It was not just the Merrymakers. The Merrymakers, like I say, started out first with just my brother YZ and Melvin. YZ was playing guitar, Melvin playing the drums and singing. And then that's when they used to play with them as Willie Mays there. And my very first show I ever did with my brother YZ and Melvin, with YZ and the Merrymakers at a place called the Horseshoe Circle here in Natchez, Mississippi. I was 13 years old. And I never will forget the first song I played was I sang. I know I played it was Hit the Road Jack. That was my favorite. Boom, 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 boom. And Melvin started singing, Hit the Road Jack, don't you come back no more. The guitar and music have been my whole life. I've had other jobs. I've learned to be an electrical technician, a lighting technician and stuff, but I never went to the job trying to figure out if they had a retirement plan or something like that, because my intention was never to stay there. And I tell young people today, they ask me, what do you have to do to make it in the business? I tell them that you have to tell yourself that you are. You know, even if you're working at McDonald's, if they say, well, what do you do for a living? You say, I'm a musician, or I'm a promoter, I'm a singer. I am a singer, but I'm working at McDonald's now. So I've always used a day job to substitute my music. I've always been a musician. You have to be in order to be. I tell you, girl, just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life trying to get closer to you, baby, because it's a real good thing. Girl, don't you know it's a real good thing. Well, it's such a real good thing, baby. Every time you call me your name, just call my name.